Hello everyone, welcome to FriendToon English. I'm Ayan, your host. Today we have a special guest, Emma. We met at university and I found our conversation really interesting, so I invited her here today. Emma, welcome.
Thank you, Ayan. I appreciate your efforts to help people learn English. It's an amazing initiative, and I'm happy to be here. Learning English is a journey, and the more exposure people get, the better they will become. I believe having real conversations like this is one of the best ways to improve.
This podcast is different. I'm an Asian English learner, and I know many people struggle with European accents. So, I host as a beginner, while my guests are fluent speakers. This way, listeners experience real conversations, step by step. Now, let's talk about improving English. Emma, what do you think is the best way to improve speaking skills?
Great question. The best way to improve is through practice. Don't wait for perfection, just start speaking. Listen to English daily, watch movies, read books, and most importantly, engage in conversations. Even if you make mistakes, that's okay. Mistakes are a natural part of learning. One useful tip is to think in English. Instead of translating from your native language, try forming thoughts directly in English. It might feel difficult at first, but over time it becomes natural. Another great method is shadowing, listening to native speakers and repeating what they say. This improves pronunciation and fluency. Also, recording yourself speaking and playing it back can help identify areas for improvement. A common issue among learners is hesitation due to fear of making mistakes. But trust me, even native speakers make mistakes sometimes. The key is to build confidence by practicing daily. If possible, find a language partner who is also learning English or a native speaker who corrects you in a friendly way.
That makes sense. Speaking without fear is important. What about learning English with native speakers?
Talking to native speakers is very beneficial. It helps you pick up natural expressions, pronunciation, and sentence structure. But if you don't have access to native speakers, you can still improve by joining online communities, watching English content, and practicing with friends who are also learning. Another way is to engage in English media. Watching interviews, reading news articles, and listening to podcasts like this one can expose you to different accents and styles of speaking. The key is consistency. Practicing a little every day is better than cramming all at once. Also, one great method is journaling. Write down your thoughts in English daily. Even if it's just a few sentences about how your day went, it can help with sentence structure and vocabulary. If you can, read it out loud to practice pronunciation as well.
That's great advice. So, listeners, start practicing, stay consistent, and don't be afraid of mistakes.
Good point. Understanding fast English can be difficult, but it's a skill that improves with exposure. Start with slow or clear English content, such as audiobooks or educational videos. Once you feel comfortable, gradually move to movies, podcasts, and live conversations. It also helps to focus on key words instead of trying to catch every single word. Native speakers often use contractions and informal phrases, which can make it sound faster. Training your ears to pick up patterns and common phrases will make a big difference.
That's very helpful. I've also noticed that repeating difficult sentences from movies or speeches helps a lot.
Exactly, repetition is key. When you hear something you don't understand, try listening to it multiple times. If needed, slow it down, read the subtitles and then listen again. Over time, your brain will adapt to the speed.
Now, let's talk about education. Emma, how is the European education system different?
Education in Europe is more focused on creativity, critical thinking, and independence. Unlike systems where students mainly memorize information, European students are encouraged to question, discuss, and form their own opinions. Universities in Europe offer flexibility. Students can often choose subjects based on their interests rather than following a rigid curriculum. There is also a strong emphasis on research and project-based learning instead of just exams. This approach helps students develop practical skills and confidence in their abilities. Another key aspect is student-teacher interaction. In many European countries, students have direct access to professors, which encourages open discussions and feedback. This creates a learning environment where students feel more comfortable expressing their opinions.
That's interesting. Would you say the European education system is better than others?
It depends on the student. Some students thrive in structured environments, while others do better with flexibility. European education values independent learning, which is great for those who are self-motivated. However, in some cases, a structured approach with clear guidelines can be more effective. So it's not about which system is better, but rather which one suits an individual's learning style. Another thing to consider is the emphasis on work-life balance. Many European universities encourage students to take internships, travel, and gain real-world experience alongside their studies. This helps students develop soft skills, which are just as important as academic knowledge.
That makes sense. A balance between structure and creativity is important.
Yes! And students in Europe also have access to a lot of scholarships and exchange programs. This makes education more accessible and allows students to experience different cultures, which is a great learning experience in itself.
Emma, thank you for this great conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Ayan. I hope this discussion helps your listeners improve their English and understand different education systems better. Keep up the great work.
Thanks, Emma. And to our listeners, if you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe to FriendToon English. Keep practicing and see you in the next episode. Take care.